Alright guys, so today what we're working on is we're graphing independent and dependent variables, and we're doing that through tables, graphs, and equations. So we're going to start with number 1 on your paper. And on number 1, what they give us is they give us the graph, a blank table, and then we have to fill in the equation. So we're going to start with what they give us on the graph. So we have to fill in our table. What we're going to do is we're going to look at our time, which is across the x-axis, versus our distance, which is across our y-axis. So the first point that we can see is right here, and it says that after 1 hour, you can travel 50 miles. So we're going to put that into our table. Time driven, 1 hour, you can travel 50 miles. Okay. Then we're going to come back to our graph and we're going to look for our second coordinate pair. And our second coordinate pair is at 2, 100. So after 2 hours, you can travel 100 miles. All right, so then we're going to look at 3, and when our hours are 3, you can travel 150 miles. So over here in our chart, we have 3 hours, and you can travel 150 miles. All right, 4, we're going to look at, and at 4, you can travel 200 miles. So in our table, we're going to say when our t is 4, you can travel 200 miles. Okay. When we have our 5 hours, we can travel 250 miles. So back in here in our table, we're going to have 5 hours is 250 miles. Okay. Now we keep going throughout our table. We have 6 and 300, so 6 hours, 300 miles, and then 7 and 350, 350 miles. So now what we have to do is we actually have to write our equation. And so in our equation, anytime we're writing an equation with an independent and a dependent variable, we're always going to set it equal to our our dependent variable. Okay, so our distance in miles equals what? Well, to figure that out, what you have to do is you have to look at each row in your table and figure out what you're doing to this independent variable to make it become the dependent variable. Okay, so in this case, what we're doing to this column in our table is we're multiplying every hour by 50. So 1 times 50 is 50, 2 times 50 is 100, 3 times 50 is 150. It's not always multiplication, but in this case it is. So what we're going to write is that our m, or our distance in miles, equals 50 times every hour, or the amount of time that we are driving. So our equation says m equals 50t. Okay. Now on your other homework questions, number 2 is exactly like this one, where you have the graph and you have to fill in the table. But questions 3 and 4 give you the table and it wants you to plot the values and to write the equation. All right, good luck.